morning, everyone. Try to make sure you don't hear me twice. So thank you, Petronilla. Good morning. I'm Valerie Pichet, and I'm proud to serve as the chair of the board of directors at Community Living Toronto. Thank you for joining us this morning, and welcome to our 75th, let's say that again, 75th annual general meeting. First, I want to introduce you to and welcome some important friends and partners joining us this morning, in addition to everyone joining us online. People and families supported by Community Living Toronto, our CLTO influencers, an important group of individuals with the developmental disabilities and lots of abilities who are working to raise awareness and create positive change in their communities and beyond. Representatives of the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, hello to you, some of whom I worked with in a past life. Members of CLTO and representatives from other developmental service agencies in Toronto and across the province, including Community Living Ontario and Oasis. Members of our Patents Council, past board chairs of Community Living Toronto, and the current members of our board of directors. And lastly, this is how important this group is. But far from least, our colleagues from CUPE Local 2191, as well as all Community Living Toronto staff and the senior leadership team. Individually, each relationship is incredibly valuable to us. However, by collaborating and working closely together, which we are proud to do, we're better equipped to support, serve, and make a greater impact in our communities. Our organization's positive relationship with the provincial government remains incredibly important. We continue to stay actively engaged while advocating for both the individuals who need our support and the dedicated employees who deliver these vital services. We're happy to have received a video address from the Honourable Michael Parsa, Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. Since taking on his role within the last year, Minister Parsa has been quick to demonstrate his support and dedication to create positive change in developmental services. From the beginning, he has eagerly engaged with our organization by joining our events, hosting meetings, generally staying well connected, and advocating alongside people with intellectual disabilities and their care workers.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your annual general meeting. I'd like to begin by taking a moment to thank Brad Saunders and the entire leadership team at Community Living Toronto for all the hard work and dedication to the people that you serve. I'd like to also recognize each and every one of you for the expertise, compassion, and kindness that you demonstrate every day in supporting Ontarians living with developmental disabilities. You're advocating for the rights and choices of some of our most vulnerable by providing life-changing and community-based services to more than 3,300 people living with developmental disabilities, as well as their families. And it's also because of your efforts and others like you that Toronto is a more welcoming and more inclusive city. Our government shares your commitment to a society where every person is included and is empowered to be an active member of their community. Our plan, Journey to Belonging, is centered around this commitment. People with a developmental disability all have unique needs and they vary from one person to another. And we'll continue to partner closely with Community Living Toronto and other partners across the province on our plan to build a stronger and needs-based developmental services system. Together, we can achieve a shared goal of a province where every single person is valued, included, and empowered to live the lives they choose. Please accept my best wishes for a productive and successful annual general meeting. Thank you.
So this morning, members of Community Living Toronto will be asked to elect a new member and extend 3 existing members to the board of directors and appoint auditors for the corporation. You will also hear a report from our treasurer, Michael Douglas, on our financial status. Following the report, we will seek members' approval on the financial statements. The annual report was included in the package that was either emailed or mailed to you. It will also be available digitally on the Community Living Toronto website following the AGM. The annual report theme for this year is Our Values in Action. This morning, Brad and I will share some of the highlights on major projects and achievements of our staff, volunteers, and partners for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. Extra copies of all reports and minutes are available through the Executive Office by contacting Julia Solani at 416-371-3763 or julia.solani@cltoronto.ca. Now on to the business portion of the meeting. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes of last year's annual general meeting on September 20th, 2022. The minutes were included in the package sent to all voting members. As a reminder, only voting members may vote on motions. I will now read a motion to approve these minutes. It is recommended that the minutes of the 74th Annual General Meeting of Tuesday, September 20th, 2022 be approved. May I ask for a mover and a seconder to please stand and state your name clearly for the record. Oh, we can't be shy here, folks. Emery Gilbert is a mover. Do we have a seconder for the minutes?
Susan McCloy.
Susan McCloy, thank you, as a seconder. Are there any discussions?
Yeah.
Those in favor? And those opposed? I don't see any opposed, therefore motion carried. Throughout the past year, your board of directors held 11 meetings, 8 times virtually and 3 times in a hybrid setting. Gosh, did those hybrid settings feel good. We believe that the business conducted and the decisions made during those meetings were completed in the best interests of Community Living Toronto and its members. If you wish to examine the official signed minutes of the Board of Directors meetings, they are available through the Executive Office. I will now read the motion. It is recommended that the actions of the Board of Directors of Community Living Toronto for 2022-2023 be approved. May I ask for a mover and seconder to please stand and state your name clearly for the record.
Susan McCloy.
Susan McCloy to move. Do we have a seconder?
John Robinson.
Perfect. Thank you, John. Do we have any discussions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. I would now ask Susan Silma, Chair of the Governance Committee of the Board, to speak to the election of board members for 2023-2024. Susan.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Valerie. The Governance Committee of the Board works throughout the year to ensure that members of the Board collectively continue to bring a diverse range of experience, skills, thought, and community involvement to the Board of Community Living Toronto and its committees. Thank you to the members of the Governance Committee for your commitment and hard work. First, I wanted to share that Dawn Hale and Susan McCloy will be retiring from our Board. We want to take a moment to thank them for their active engagement. Not only were they board members, but they also served on Board and Community Living Toronto committees. They volunteered their time, insights, and experience. We're very grateful for their long-time involvement, and their contributions will be missed. I understand Don is actually sick today, so grateful to him for not sharing that, but Susan is here, and we're grateful to you, and we hear that you're going to stay on one of our committees, so we're very pleased. Thank you for that. The Governance Committee proposes that Matthew Soon fill one of the vacancies on the Board for a 3-year term. His biography is included in the Board nominations report in the annual general meeting package, and we're very grateful he's accepted our nomination. The Governance Committee also recommends that 3 existing board members be re-elected. Emery Gilbert's term has ended, and we recommend he be approved for a new 3-year term. Val Pichet is also recommended for approval of a 2-year extension, and we recommend that Nelson Raposo be approved for a 1-year extension. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize board members who aren't on the ballot, but who will continue to serve on the board this coming year. A number of them are in the room today, and their names are listed in your package. Working with these directors has made it very clear that they all share a deep commitment to the community living cause and bring a wealth of experience and immense skill to the board table. I'll now put forward a motion to approve these nominees. It's recommended by the Governance Committee that Valerie Pichet be approved for a 2-year extension, Nelson Raposo be approved for a 1-year extension, and Emery Gilbert and Matthew Soon be approved for a 3-year term on Community Living Toronto's Board of Directors. May I please have a mover and a seconder?
Victor Figueredo.
Thank you, Victor. And a seconder?
Susan McCoy.
Thank you, Susan. All in favor? Thank you. Those opposed? Val, I think you're supposed to say carried, but I can do it if you like.
Carried. Motion carried. Thank you. Well, that would have been awkward had it not gone through.
Especially with you.
Yeah, exactly. On behalf of members of Community Living Toronto, I would like to thank the members of the Governance Committee for their hard work over the past year. Especially to you, Susan. You are a tireless volunteer who's so consistent and so dedicated to the work of this committee and to the overall organization. So I want to thank you for your leadership, and you've really advanced the organization's governance framework. We could not do this without you. So on a personal note, I'd like to give my deepest thanks to our retiring board members. Retiring, they never really retire. Susan McCloy and Donald Hale. As you heard, Donald was unable to join us this morning, but Susan's here with us. Susan joined us for the second time in the midst of the pandemic, bringing with her years of experience in the financial sector and a deep knowledge of business operations, making her the perfect fit to be our treasurer from 2020 to 2022. Thank you, Susan. And a note, of thanks to Donald, who's been a member of the board for 8 years, but involved with CLTO for over a decade. Your dedication to Community Living Toronto has been an inspiration to witness, and your wealth of knowledge as a board member has been invaluable. So Donald, we want to thank you as well. We know where you live. We'll get you your name. I'd now like to ask Michael Douglas to deliver the treasurer's report. Michael?
Thank you, Val, and good morning, everyone. It is my honor to be here today and to share with you the financial results of Community Living for the 2023 fiscal year. The annual meeting package sent to each member included an overview of the financial report, as well as a soft copy of the financial statements and the auditor's report for 2023. Audited and signed financial statements are also available upon request through Community Living's executive office. Again, this year, we have remained focused on purposeful, fiscally responsible investments into our supports and services while managing various funding sources and pressures. In the spring of 2022, the Ontario Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services made an additional investment into the permanent wage enhancement of frontline staff. CLTO received $7 million in funding that represents a permanent $3 an hour wage increase to base salaries of eligible staff members. We cannot state enough how important this additional investment into our workforce is, easing some of the challenges of post-pandemic living and the pressures of the current economic landscape. We appreciate the ministry's recognition for wage improvements and helping to ensure that our staff are recognized for their tireless work and dedication to the people we support in our community. We also received additional COVID-19 residential relief funding from MCCSS, $170,000 for the sector emergency PPE hub, and $771,000 specifically for our supported living needs. The Ontario Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development supported CLTO's My Job Match with $145 million grant through the Government Skills Development Fund. We are grateful for their support as we continue to tackle the access to employment gap within our sector. The ongoing renovation of our Sibley location received a funding boost with a Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation grant of $525,000 through the National Housing Co-Investment Fund repair and renewal stream. This has helped us manage the growing costs that come along with these major construction projects. CLTO's largest expense this year was our new My Services Connect system. With a $3 million investment, we are modernizing and digitizing our tools, which will provide substantial returns by saving our staff time in order to focus on the people we support. Overall, CLTO's annual revenue is $107.8 million, with details provided in our annual report. Approximately 80% of our revenue was from the Ontario Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services. The balance came from very important partners, including the Ministry of Labour, the City of Toronto, the United Way of Greater Toronto, as well as donations, fee-for-service programs, and entrepreneurial social ventures. Our total expenses in the past year were $109.5 million. Expenses exceeded revenue in 2022-2023 as a result of a few factors: fewer pandemic-related government investments, increased spending on internal business transformation projects, and further incurring unexpected expenses for some of our direct support programming. This year, we made meaningful investments which have supported CLTO's journey to continue providing the highest quality services and supports to over 4,000 people who have an intellectual disability and their families. The financial results for Community Living Toronto are prepared by management and fairly presented in accordance with Chartered Professional Accountant Practice Guidelines. These financial results have been audited by our external auditors, KPMG. In conclusion, I'd like to thank Betty Yam and her staff at CLTO, as well as the volunteers on our audit committee for all their hard work and for making the financials at Community Living run smoothly. If you have any questions at this time, Betty or I would be happy to respond. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I will now put forward two motions. The first is to approve the financial statements, and the second is to approve the appointment of KPMG as our auditors for the current fiscal year. So I would like to move that the audited financial statements of Community Living Toronto for the fiscal year ending March 2023 be approved. May I ask for a seconder? Emery, thank you. Are there any discussions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. And then our second resolution, I would like to move that the firm of KPMG be reappointed as auditors for Community Living Toronto for the fiscal year 2023-2024. May I ask for a seconder? Thank you, Victor. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. I'll now turn it back to Val.
Thank you, Michael. On behalf of members of Community Living Toronto, thank you for your report. You joined our board this year. You also took on the role of treasurer in your first year. Nothing like being thrown into the deep end and learning through the numbers. But I just want to tell you how much we appreciate your expertise, your guidance, and your dedication. We're only as strong as the team that surrounds us, and there's no way that we could do this job as a board without one another and our time and expertise. So now we're going to turn to our update on activities for 2022 and 2023. The Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Relations team at Community Living Toronto have produced an annual report filled with empowering stories and rich data that reflect our achievements from the past year. I would encourage you to dig into the report and learn more about CLTO's impact in 2022-2023. We've come a long way over the past 75 years, but one thing has never changed. Above all, upholding the rights and choices of people we support guides everything we do. Since 1948, Community Living Toronto has been an industry leader and champion of true inclusion for people who have an intellectual disability as well as their loved ones. This work of breaking down barriers is not always easy, and our staff are invaluable to our success. Inclusion doesn't just benefit the people we support, it enriches the lives of everyone in the community. As part of our journey to create communities where everyone belongs, we seek to provide personalized supports and services in local neighborhoods, modernize our program design, and deepen our commitment to anti-racism, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Our board and its committees are supported by a dedicated and talented group of volunteers who devote close to 4,500 hours a year to the governance of Community Living Toronto. Our success as an organization is also highly steered by the people who work here. We would be nowhere without our incredible staff. Thank you to our CLTO team who perform challenging and specialized work that help to keep people healthy and safe by providing enriching programs, vital services, and advocating for their rights and choices. These are individuals who demonstrate great strength and creativity in ensuring that the people we support can continue to develop, flourish, and live meaningful lives. We continue to have a strong relationship with CUPE Local 2191 to meet the changing needs of the community we support. CLTO's union representatives are invited to board meetings to ensure transparency and access to important discussions that govern the organization. Thank you to our union partners for your guidance and for their commitment to seeing the recent collective agreement bargaining process through to a successful conclusion. CLTO volunteers and members generously donated their time, funds, and hard work to support the organization throughout the year. We are so grateful to these valued members of our CLTO community. We would like to thank Minister Parsa, Parliamentary Assistant Kenneth Pathy, and our partners in the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services for their ongoing support. We'd also like to thank Minister McNaughton and the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, and Minister Bethlyn Falvey and the Ministry of Finance for their financial support into the developmental services sector. The 2022 Fall Economic Statement announced vital investments into the Ontario Disability Support Program, raising rates nearly 12% over the course of the year and tying core funding to inflation. ODSP recipients also saw an increase of the employment income threshold from $200 to $1,000, meaning that people who want to work can do so without being penalized. With these changes, people can have more security in knowing that their support dollars will continue to rise over the years, and they can participate in their communities more actively. We're truly grateful to the province for their investments this past year into employment services, staff wages, facility management, ODSP funding, and much more. Year after year, our organization's core values of inclusion, choice, and diversity are put into action. We're helping to build communities where our core values are beacons of true belonging. Inspired by our value of choice, this was a big year wherein we stepped back to reframe how we can put the needs of the people we support first. We started the process of reimagining in-person community participation supports so people can access supports where and how they want. Through a co-design approach with people-minded business, we spoke to people we support, staff, families, along with external networks to understand what people are looking for in order to create meaningful experiences through our programs. This process is ongoing, and it will keep going, and will continue to evolve based on the reflections from those participating. Our options for supported living grew, and these spaces helped to foster independence in local neighborhoods. We were thrilled to welcome people we support into our new inclusive vertical community at Treadyway. Further progress has been achieved with construction at Birchmount Green and renovations at Sibley. In spring of 2023, we announced our partnership with Tridel to redevelop our Lawson property in Scarborough, a massive, decade-long project to build a world-class inclusive community. I can tell you, I met Toronto's mayor last week at an event. She's very interested to come and participate, and she's very interested in making sure this happens and happens quickly. So with this new build, we're setting the bar for community organizations and home builders to partner to meet housing demands for all people and creative, affordable, livable, and inclusive communities. Tridel has been a wonderful partner, and our work together is being noticed. Specialized services provide tailored, innovative, clinical, and person-centered strategies to help optimize quality of life for people we support and their families who are experiencing complex situations. In order to provide the best care to the people we support, the service stream has been reorganized into 3 categories: interdisciplinary services, community supports, and specialized resource homes. Interdisciplinary services encompasses health and wellness services, transition services, social work, behavior services, and home management, all with the aim of supporting people's mental health and social needs. Within community supports, adult protective services, early childhood services, and family support served hundreds of children and adults in the community between April 1st, 2022 and March 31st, 2023. And lastly, our specialized resource homes have continued to create welcoming, supportive spaces for children and adults who have a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder and present with unique and complex needs. 2023 has been a special year. It's our 75th anniversary, and it's been full of exciting celebrations. We launched our campaign to celebrate 75 years of belonging in April, and since then, we've been sharing stories from our community living family. If you have a story you'd like to share about belonging, we'd love to hear from you. It's not too late. Celebrations will continue into 2024. We look forward to recapping our campaign in next year's annual report. And mark your calendar. Finally, our biannual Community Rocks fundraiser is back. Exactly. Taking place on November 18th, this year's theme is Beach Party. We can't wait to see you all there. I don't know about beach party after a pandemic, but you know, well, cover-ups will be all the rage. On a personal note, I'd like to take time to reflect on my first term as your board chair. This past year, we witnessed a real shift in activity as the city and the whole world began to move beyond the pandemic. Now, of course, we recognize that COVID may not be entirely behind us, and we stay steadfast in our infection protection and control measures. But hasn't it been wonderful to feel that we can finally come together in person again and share in experiences as a community? Whether it be a board meeting around a table, the family fun fair on the Lawson lawn last weekend, or a day like this in an auditorium, I feel so grateful to be back in the presence of all of you. Community Living Toronto's new 5-year strategic plan was a massive undertaking for our board this year, and we plan to formally roll it out to the public in the coming weeks. It is a bold, detailed strategy that will help guide the organization's work going forward. The plan reflects our commitment to measuring our success, creating innovative, diverse services, and providing the resources and tools our staff need to effectively do their jobs. We'll continue the work of advocating alongside the people we support, their families, and our teams to encourage vital conversations with people in power and the public about issues impacting our community. It's important that even as we celebrate our successes from this year, We also acknowledge that we continue to face challenges as a sector, including access to supportive housing, labor shortages, and a cost of living crisis in this city. And we're committed to addressing these as best we can. CLTO continues to be a sector leader. We have helped bring voices together to make meaningful change for the last 75 years, and we will continue on this mission for many more years to come. Before I conclude my remarks this morning, I want to take a moment to appreciate the work of our board and the committees of the board. These are critical parts of Community Living Toronto and are made up of a dedicated group of volunteers, family, and community members. I want to acknowledge their combined determination, enthusiasm, and commitment to the mission and vision of Community Living Toronto. I want to say a big thank you. This is a lot of work that happens in the back rooms, and we could not do it with all of these individuals and backgrounds around that table. So with that, I'd like to pass it off to Brad Saunders, the CEO of Community Living Toronto. Brad.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to good to see everybody in person, and for those online that we can't see, but I'm hoping you can see us. Welcome. Our annual report highlights much of the work we've completed over the past year and highlights many areas of progress. Diversity, choice, and inclusion, our core values, continue to guide us again this year. Our new strategic plan will guide our work for the next 5 years. And we've developed sort of three key strategic goals that we'll be working on during that time. First, we want to make sure that we put the people that we support first. We want to provide an excellent customer service experience in every aspect of the work that we do. We also want to grow to meet the increasing demand that we're seeing in our city. Too many people wait for too long, and we want to be part of that solution. We want to contribute to fostering community across the city as well. We want to make a difference in the communities and the neighborhoods where we are all across this city. This journey is just getting started, and we're really looking forward to working with all of you in this room, online, and as part of our city and helping us to get there. To highlight a couple of the key things that have happened this past year, and Val's mentioned some of them, but I wanted to reiterate. Last year we developed myjobmatch.ca, which matches a job seeker's skills and career goals with the jobs best suited to them. This partnership with Corebrook Awakening Abilities and Placemaking for Good from Halifax matched more than 90 people into 140 jobs. It's a remarkable accomplishment. This impact and the success of that program led to a further $1.8 million grant from the Ministry of Labour to allow us to expand myjobmatch.ca. In our supported living program, we continue to evolve. In October of last year, 14 people that we support moved into 2 locations on Treddy Way, which is just near Wilson and the Allen Road. They now live in their own apartments. Some people live on their own and others with roommates, each receiving the support that they need while being involved and included in their neighborhoods. One new resident, Ralph, is so happy with his new home that he joined us in Ottawa to speak to MPs about the importance of housing and the difference that the National Housing Strategy has made for him personally. This is the first time that he has that he's lived on his own after years of living in foster care and group care. He now has his own living room, washer, dryer, privacy, and the supports he needs are close by when he needs them. Sibley near Victoria Park in Danforth has been given a new life after a complete renovation and will be opening its doors in November to welcome people back. Birchmount Green in Scarborough has 31 units, as well as a social enterprise coffee shop, the Social Brew Cafe and Marketplace. And in October, we'll be welcoming our first group of people into their new homes. Kelly is one of the people who's moving into those homes. I'm Facebook friends with Kelly, and it's been really cool to see her excitement about moving into her new home. Anytime we do this, we all feel that joy, and Kelly was very open around sharing pictures and her excitement and the countdown towards moving in. Mervis Village, just down the street from here, will be 100% rental communities with great amenities, and CLTO will have 12 affordable units in that development. We have a lot of other projects like this on the go as well. As Val mentioned, over the course of the next decade, we will be developing our Lawson project with property with Tridel into an inclusive community with 5 towers that will include up to 2,000 condominium units and 200 rental suites, a public park, and a new space for Community Living Toronto in Scarborough. The cool part about this is that up to 20% of the rental and condominium suites will be available to purchase or rent for individuals with a developmental disability. This is groundbreaking and world-class development that as Val mentioned, we're getting a lot of interest in. It's a ton of work, but we're enjoying every step of it. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're off to a really strong start. Our community participation support have reopened, welcoming back into locations across the city, with many of those sites being freshly renovated. We're now providing more choice and that is tailored to what people want, when they want it, where they want it. Our day supports are no longer based on our schedule of a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, but also evenings and weekends and many different options for activities. As Val also mentioned earlier, our specialized services is now organized into 3 teams: interdisciplinary services, community supports, and specialized resource homes. Our interdisciplinary team includes behavioral services, social work, transition, and health and wellness services. This past year, we transitioned more than a dozen pharmacies for our 47 supported living sites to one pharmacy, Seamless Care, who are experts in this field. It's really helped us improve our efficiency. We also launched the Developmental Psychiatry Resource Clinic to provide in-house support to better meet people's mental health needs. We wrapped up the first year of sponsoring the Ontario Behavior Analytic Community of Practice, bringing clinicians from across the province together to learn and to share. And we onboarded a mental health first aid facilitator with CLTO and trained 41 members of our leadership team across the organization. Mental health and wellness is a key priority for this organization. Our community supports included adult protective service workers, family and early childhood services. This year, our adult protective service program supported 425 people who are in some very vulnerable situations across the city. Early childhood services supported over 582 children who are accessing childcare in their local community. And our family support coordination supported 72 families and 214 adults. This is a huge impact that we're making on our city each and every year. Finally, our specialized resource homes implemented the ministry's new quality standards framework, which was a lot of work. But this will increase the quality of care that is provided to the children that we support. Specialized services, all the things I've just talked about, are an incredibly diverse and complex service stream. And we thank our team members for everything they do to keep people well supported. With such a diverse workforce, our anti-racism and equity, diversity, and inclusion is important, and it's never been more important than it is now. To bolster this area, we added a senior manager of anti-racism and EDI, and we're one of the founding members of the provincial EDI community of practice. Our employee resource groups started over the last year or so, and have been created to reflect our diversity and include a number of groups that focus on our Indigenous Talking Circle, the Tamil ERG, our Pride Collective, the Muslims of CLTO, our CLTO influencers, and our Black Leaders ERG. They come together to get to know each other's stories, celebrate what makes us unique, and allow people to bring more of themselves into the workplace every day at Community Living Toronto. We continue to work as an ally as well with organizations around the world. Our CLTO influencers have partnered with the Alexandria Self-Advocates Group in Egypt to share their experiences about inclusion, about bullying, and their cultural needs and talents. We partnered with Corbrook to create 2 social enterprises. In Kenya, we're working with local coffee growers to develop a social enterprise to support young women and young men in getting into the workforce and selling great coffee in Ontario. The Social Brew Cafe and Marketplace that I mentioned will be starting at Birchmount Green later this year will soon open, and I invite you all to come in for a cup of fresh roasted Kenyan coffee. To address staffing shortages, not just at Community Living Toronto, but across the province, we created Athari People. Athari is the Swahili word for impact. The goal of this organization is to match international workers who are trained in our sector with DS organizations seeking staff who are passionate and ready to contribute. In India, we continued our partnership with the Latika Roy Foundation. This has led to the Indo-Canadian Autism Network, which is allowing better access to medical and psychiatric supports for us here in Ontario. We presented at a conference in March in Hyderabad, India, to discuss our experiences around specialized resource homes. And in June, a group took a trip to Israel for the Canadian Israel Inclusion Mission that was organized by RENA. Jenna and Farah, who are highlighted here, who work at Clto and are also influencers, join us to share their lived experience. It was great to have them on that trip. Also in June, Sam Forbes and Anne-Marie traveled to New York to present at the United Nations General Assembly on the resolution on easy-to-understand communication. Sam personally addressed the General Assembly as a representative of Community Living Toronto and spoke of the importance of this issue to him. The United Way is such a great partner and funder, and they renewed us as an anchor agency for another 5 years. At Clto, we would not be able to provide the wide breadth of services without this investment that the United Way makes in us each and every year. Shadow Lake started out the year with a huge storm that had a devastating impact on the camp. But we all pitched in with volunteers and community members, and some help from our insurance provider, to clean up and repair the damage. We were opened and welcomed back more guests than we had since COVID started. Our volunteers continue to give of their time in many ways, and I'd like to focus on just one story for now. Friendly Connections was started during COVID as a way to connect people who were fighting isolation and loneliness. Gina, who runs the program, shared her experience of putting together packages, including a personalized letter and activity sheets for each recipient. She started by sharing with about 7 to 10 people and is now connecting with up to 20 people a week. She is now hearing from people constantly and she says it is all worth it just to be connected with people and to hear and learn their stories. It's such great work and an example of how one person can make a difference in so many people's lives. To our staff, you make what we do possible. You are kind and devoted, creative and strong. Every day you support people through some of life's most exciting moments and also some of the most challenging. I am in awe of what you do and appreciative. I commit to you that we will work to ensure that those in our sector are recognized for the work you do, and to seek more opportunities for your education, for employment incentives, and better wages, like other human services fields. Finally, to the individuals and families we work with across the city, you are the reason we do all of this. We see you, we hear you, and we will continue to foster a world where everyone belongs and everyone is valued. Thank you.
Go.
Hello, my name is Isaiah Grant. My dad is Sarah Grant. My mom, Sarah Grant.
And we will be talking to you about belonging and our involvement with Community Living Toronto.
And so we'd like to start off with how we got connected with community living in the first place. So our son, Isaiah, was diagnosed with autism 22 years ago. And I'm sure many of you listening remember that day and just remember the challenges that you feel is where do we begin? You're given a couple of phone numbers. I wasn't given much direction myself. And it was like, kind of go figure it out. And so one of the first agencies that was mentioned to us was Community Living, because we were told about the great work that you do in supporting families and supporting the inclusion of loved ones with disabilities. So checked you out. And we did receive a lot of support. Firstly, of course, it started with the school system and just beginning to understand how to navigate the special education system, what my rights and responsibilities were, getting support to navigate all the, educational language at those, special education meetings. And so that was really appreciated. We received after school respite support and summer respite support so Isaiah could attend summer camps. And so as a result of that support and that encouragement and strength, I really wanted to give back. And so I became a Special Education Advisory Committee, or SEAC for short, rep for a year until I, became an employee of the school board. And then Clovis took over in that role for about another 10 years. I also was a part of the Scarborough Council and loved going to those meetings and meeting with other parents and caregivers and learning from them and, seeing what we could do to make a difference in the lives of families. And I also sat on the board of directors again for about 6 years. And all of these experiences taught us not only the value of advocacy, but how to effectively advocate for Isaiah and how to continue to have hope for his future as a young person living with special needs.
Which really brings us nicely to the topic of belonging, because for us, belonging means feeling included, not being isolated, having friendships, being part of community. And those of us who have a loved one, a family member with a diagnosis, knows how difficult that diagnosis can be, the hopelessness that you feel. Sometimes it's the friends that you lose and some of those tight connections. And, having our two kids, you see the contrast. Our older son was invited all the time. There were no weekends where you just weren't invited to something, whether it be a birthday party or some get together with family and friends of his schoolmates, etc. But then all of that goes missing with Isaiah. He wasn't invited to those birthday parties. He wasn't invited to friends' homes. In fact, sometimes we weren't sure as to the why. Was it because they were just afraid of our son? Was it because they were sorry for us? And so the bottom line is, whatever the reason, that sense of belonging, that isolation increases, and it comes down to not feeling belonged.
And so we really, appreciate this opportunity to be able to say thank you, CLTO. Thank you so much for your support that helped us to have hope for Isaiah and his future. As a result of the encouragement and the courage that we had throughout the years, because of that relationship, he has employment. He plays on a variety of sports teams. He's integrated into our church community and our neighborhood. And as a result of this support, it inspired us to start our own group, Salbona Afrocentric Circle of Support, with a focus on engagement and belonging of Black caregivers specifically, who don't necessarily feel that sense of belonging, especially mainstream systems. The goal of our organization, to give them a voice and hope for their loved ones like we received over the years. We continue to be grateful for all you do, and I think we're some of your biggest fans, and we continue to be a champion for the work that you do. Congratulations on 75 years of impact, and we really look forward to the next chapter in your journey of having an impact in the disability community. Thank you. Community Living Toronto.
Before I turn it back to Val, meetings like this do not come off easily, and sometimes do not come off smoothly. We've got a great team of people that put this together. Petronella, Julia, Artem, Jason, Manel, Carla, Brianna. Did I miss anybody? This is Kathy's last meeting with us. Next week, Kathy retires after a long career in human services. Kathy started out working in administrative services in the for-profit area and decided that didn't fit who she was. So for the last, I won't say how many years, for many years, for the last, okay, you said it. For the last 40 years, Kathy has been working in the not-for-profit sector, providing fantastic support, leadership, and encouragement to people. You can never faze Kathy. Even this morning, she's very calm, cool, and collected. We all are in appreciation of what you've done for us over the years, and we will greatly miss you. We're celebrating your retirement, I think, tomorrow afternoon for those of us there, but please join me in giving Kathy.
Well, that's a tough acknowledgement. I just want to add my thanks to Kathy. Kathy has been the voice of reason, the voice of calm, the voice of there are no problems, just solutions. For all of us around the board, you've been a tremendous support. You've become a friend. And we can't thank you enough for all of your time, your dedication, your guidance, your expertise, and just your calm demeanor of bringing us all back down to what really matters most. So I just want to add my thanks to Kathy along to Brad's, but on behalf of the board, thank you for all the support you provide to us. I also want to thank the team and join Brad in thanking the executive office for organizing this annual general meeting. It's a lot of work. There are a lot of things that are unpredictable, but all solvable, and you've all kept a very calm face through it. And of course, we want to thank you, all of you in this room, all of you with us online, members, staff, and who helped make this great event. So this brings the 75th annual general meeting to a close. So I'm going to pass a motion. It is recommended that the 75th annual general meeting of Community Living Toronto be adjourned. May I ask for a mover and a seconder to please stand and state your name clearly for the record. Do we have a mover?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Do we have a seconder?
John Robinson.
Thank you, John. Are there any discussions? You all want to hang out? Those in favor? Those opposed? I don't see any opposition. Motion carried. I want to thank all of you for being part of our AGM this morning. Please take care and stay safe.
If anyone wants